The start of Season 2 saw us spend almost £80 million on 3 new signings. Despite this though, our defence was still all over the shop, conceding 3 goals to Leeds in our opening game of the season. So with some big formation decisions still to be made, £61 million left in the budget, and just a couple of weeks left in the transfer window, we've got a lot to get through today. But of course, if you are enjoying the series so far, please feel free to like and subscribe, and let's get into today's episode. Now with this sort of hybrid 3-4-2-1 formation, it does allow us plenty of opportunity to try and fit in some of our attacking players, but leaves us wildly exposed in defence, especially in the wide areas. And with new signing Roger Ibanez having what can only be described as an absolute horror show in his opening couple of games, I put the question to you, what can I do to get the best out of him and potentially try and shore up this defence? And of course, as ever, your comments came flying in. The first one suggesting we could either make Dahoud a singular defensive midfielder or switch to a 3-4-3 system with 2 defensive midfielders and inverted wingbacks. And I'm assuming that would probably look something along these lines. Now I've set the formation to 3-4-3, but instead of having my wingers so high up the pitch, switching them back into more wingback positions, setting the run type on both of those wide players to a more inverted support, and then making sure that both Dahoud and Koku stay back while attacking and maintain their position. Now as you can see, that does allow me to move the likes of Estupinian and also Pablo Maffeo out wide to their regular fullback positions. It also gives Ibanez far more cover both on the left and right hand side of him, but with just 2 defensive midfielders in central midfield, it means the likes of Ben Yedder, Enciso and Ludovic Blas all miss out on a place in the starting 11. So let's take a look at our second formation suggestion. The 3 at the back is definitely not working. You could change to a 5-2-3, I think, as you have the personnel for it. Otherwise, a 4-3-3 with Blas in central attacking midfield with Wimmer and Barnes on either wing could work as well. So I'm assuming that would mean moving to a more attack-minded 4-3-3, allowing that central attacking midfield position to just drop in behind the striker. This one once again does allow my fullbacks to return to their regular position, giving us more cover in the wing areas. Ibanez finally has a proper defensive partner in Lewis Dunk. We've got an extra man in midfield as Ludovic Blas can just slot in behind the striker, and it also allows us to have an exciting attacking trio of Wimmer, Evan Ferguson and Harvey Barnes. However, once again the likes of Ben Yedder and Enciso are the unlucky ones who have to drop to the bench. Or we could go with our third suggestion, which is another 4-3-3, but this one being slightly more defensive minded. I think the defence most of the time gets exposed, and that holding midfield position when defending will tighten those spaces by dropping back a bit and covering the spaces so that players can't get through or even find a pass or take a shot. So I'm guessing that means switching to this more 4-3-3 holding setup, allowing us to have that central defensive midfielder. Similar to the other 4-3-3, it does give us cover right across our defence. It allows us to utilise most of our attacking players and gives us an extra man in midfield. However, it does mean that Ludovic Blas has to shift back from his usual central attacking midfield position into a more central midfield position. Whether that'll affect his performance, I don't quite know, but at least it gives more opportunities for the likes of Vega and Pascal Gross to potentially come in and replace him. So firstly, I want to say thank you so much for your feedback and suggestions. It really does help contribute to the channel, and it is something I greatly appreciate. And so with these 3 formation changes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play 3 games in total in this episode. Each game I'm going to use each different formation, and by the end of it, I'm going to put a poll in my community section and ask you guys which one you think is best. Whichever one you decide is the one I will go forward with. Before we do that though, we have got the small task of trying to beat Millwall in the League Cup. As you can see, for this game I have stuck to my usual 3-4-2-1 formation, and clearly that was a stupid decision to make as we are out, being beaten 5-4 on penalties by Millwall, and another opportunity of a trophy goes begging. Right, so here we go then. It is on to our very first game of this episode and our very first opportunity to try out some of these interesting tactics you suggested. As you can see, it is Arsenal at the Emirates, so it's going to be an incredibly tricky tie for us to try and pick up the 3 points. But for this one, we are going to go with the 3-4-3 formation, the 2 holding midfielders, the 2 wide wing-backs inverting into the midfield. Let's see what we can do. So I'll go for Arsenal. Find Saka into Gabby Jesus, tries to find a lovely ball into the path of Saka yet again. It's the Estupinian who's he's just gone past him like he's not even there, but it's Dunk who's on in the centre of defence who puts in a wonderful challenge. Oh, Arsenal go again though. Odegaard, they're all over us here inside the opening 10 minutes here. It's Gabby Jesus back into Martinelli who strikes. Big block from Maffeo. Dahoud to try and bring the ball forward. He's under a lot of pressure and he gives the ball away cheaply to Diago. It's Saka into Odegaard, into the back of the net from Gabby Jesus. And despite us having 3 centre-backs on the field, we are still making silly mistakes. This time it was Dahoud though, our defensive midfielder, who made the mistake. Didn't have any options, and it was fed back into Gabby Jesus, who powered it past a helpless Hugo Lloris. And Arsenal take an early 1-0 lead. Gabby Jesus picks up a nice pocket of space, goes out wide to Martinelli, twisting, turning around my right back. Igor comes across to try and block off the run of Zinchenko, but Zinchenko on the edge of the box still has it, manages to wriggle his way past Maffeo, who strikes, and he puts it just wide. Ibanez all the way out to Pablo Maffeo on the right-hand side. Does have space to run into here. Finds Koku. Koku finds Evan Ferguson. Looking for options. Can't quite find any. So goes all the way out wide to Estupinian, who's in acres of space. Whips a good ball over into no one. It's headed away by the Arsenal defence. Saka for Arsenal. Trying to look for a ball through into Gabby Jesus. Takes it really nicely and continues his run down the right-hand side. Dunk trying to chase him. Trying to harass him. Harry him. And eventually he does. And having the big man at the back is really helping us. Saka again for Arsenal. They're all over us here in this first half. Gabby Jesus skips away from Ibanez. And again, my defence are nowhere to be seen. Hugo Lloris is there. The ball is bundling around. What is going on? Oh, my word. Calamity at the back. Stupinian into De Hood. De Hood finds Evan Ferguson, who's just dropped off. I'm going to try and play a ball right the way over to Pablo Maffeo. Wonderfully done. Into Wimmer. Wimmer's going to strike here. Big save from Ramsdale. Koku with the resulting corner. Our first corner of the game. Looks over for Evan Ferguson. Doesn't quite find him. Ibanez takes it on. Strikes it with his left. Gabby Jesus now to try and burst away from Lewis Dunk. He's got the pace to do so. Lewis Dunk just cannot keep up with him. Ibanez, though, comes across into the box. And he's got the composure and calmness just to pass that ball away from trouble. Now it's Maffeo going to try and drive forward here. I'm going to try and look for Patrick Wimmer. Can I find the run to him? Oh, that's not the ball I wanted to play. But Evan Ferguson has somehow found himself in the box. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant defending from Arsenal. Zinchenko for Arsenal. Oh, beautiful pass from Odegaard into Martinelli in space. Finds a ball into the box. Gabby Jesus, big save. Koku under a bit of pressure here. Gives the ball away to Odegaard cheaply. And Arsenal, just like that, have their second goal of the game. Well, goal line technology shows that the ball did in fact go over the line, so we can have no complaints whatsoever. But yet again, it's a silly mistake that costs us, and Arsenal take a 2-goal lead. Pablo Maffeo into Ludovic Blas, who's come on as a substitute, as has Ben Yedder, who drives into the box. And Ben Yedder, what a defensive block there from Gabriel, I think it was. Harvey Barnes twists and turns, tries to get away from Pavard, does just that, but Pavard is chasing him. Can he get a ball into the box? He can! Well saved by Ramsdale. Ludovic Blas into Wissam Ben Yedder here. Going to try and look for the run of Maffeo, but instead I find Ludovic Blas, who somehow has managed to stay on side. He checks back onto his left. Can I find a ball into the box to Ben Yedder? I can, who strikes! Big save. Well, this is going to be our last opportunity of the game, and it's one that Koku's going to throw into the box. Looking for the header, Ben Yedder. Headed away, only as far as De Hood. Fires it back across to Koku, who's going to fire it back into the box. Again, looking for Ben Yedder, and that is a big head. He celebrates wildly, but unfortunately, it's probably just going to be a consolation at this point. De Hood, though, right on the edge of the box. A wicked pass, and an even better ball across from Koku. And Ben Yedder, despite not being the tallest, manages to get ahead of the defender and powers a beautiful header that gave Ramsdale absolutely no chance. He planted it into the bottom corner and we get a goal back here. But unfortunately that did turn out to be the last attack of the game as Ramsdale celebrates as our players look to the ground. It's another game and another defeat for Brighton. Full time it finishes Arsenal 2, Brighton 1. Now, to be fair, despite conceding 2 goals, I certainly felt far more defensively solid than I ever have in any other game this season. We weren't getting overrun in the wide positions, but unfortunately it was just 2 silly mistakes from 2 of my best players in central midfield that ended up costing us the game. Now, I did mention at the start of the episode that I still had £61 million left to spend in the summer transfer window, and of course last episode I did ask for your comments and feedback as to how exactly you would like me to spend that money. Now, the first comment seemingly isn't particularly impressed with Evan Ferguson. They think a new striker is needed, and perhaps Jonathan David could well be the answer, as he's a proven young goalscorer in the French league. And even in defence, perhaps an experienced centre-back like Coates or Tar could well do the trick defensively. Now, clearly the scouts at Manchester United have the same eye for talent as you do, because Jonathan David, frustratingly, has joined the English Giants, which means he is definitely going to be off our shortlist. Sebastian Coates is an interesting idea, to be fair. He's rated 81, so would come in and improve our defence. And at 32 years of age, he offers us an incredible amount of experience. But my only concern with him is that he doesn't quite have the athleticism to play with the high line that I want my team to play with. And as for Jonathan Tah, well, I do think he would be an incredible signing. And at 27 years of age, he's certainly entering his prime. However, my only concern with him is, with him playing for Roma, I'm not quite sure he would realistically want to join Brighton at this moment in time, as well as the fact that I haven't been able to fully scout him and I don't have enough time left in the transfer window to get that scout report back in play. We've got another comment suggesting some defensive cover on the wings if we want to concede less. Perhaps a winger with higher defensive stats, the likes of Kostic or Cornet. Now, at 84 rated, Filip Kostic would be an unbelievable signing. 6 foot, high attacking and defensive work rate, and his stats are absolutely sensational. I guess my only concern with this is with him playing for Juventus. Again, realistically, would he really want to join Brighton at this moment in time? Now, Maxwell Cornet could well be a very interesting shout. He can play on the left-hand side of midfield, but he can also play up front, so he offers us a bit more versatility. He's got Premier League experience with West Ham, and as you can see, he's got phenomenal physical stats as well. And with him being 26, he's just about to enter his prime. Again, my concern with him is, as I've not scouted him before, and as I don't have enough time to get a full scout report back on the young man, I don't really know what to offer him, and I don't really know if he's going to come in and immediately improve our starting 11. And finally, our other transfer suggestion is Manuel Ugarte, as he could be worth a shot to look at, as he's only 21 and has good defensive stats as well. Again, I think he could be a really strong idea. 6 foot high attacking and defensive work rate, and with him only being 22 and probably desperate to have Premier League experience on his CV, he could well be a realistic signing for Brighton. But yet again, with me unable to fully scout him until after the transfer window closes, I'm reluctant to put a bid in on him until I can guarantee exactly how much I might have to pay for him. So with all these really interesting suggestions, I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hold on to my £61 million transfer budget until January. I'm going to wait for these scout reports to come in. I'm going to wait to see if you've got any additional ideas that you have or any additional players you want to see playing in a Brighton shirt. And then we're going to make some big decisions in the January transfer window as to which of these players we're going to potentially bring to Brighton Football Club. And with the transfer window now slamming shut, there is only one other piece of business that has taken place at the club. Surprisingly, Stade de Reims have come in and matched the release clause of just over £12 million for João Pedro, which means despite me not wanting to lose him, he'll be departing in January. And in even more frustrating news, having struggled to settle in on the shores of Brighton since his arrival in the summer, new signing Roger Ibanez has been hit with a broken rib that will see him out of action for the next 3 months. And so it means with a game against West Ham at the Amex Stadium up next, we're going to have to test out our next new formation without him. This time we're going for the more attack-minded 4-3-3 formation, with Ludovic Blas coming in the central attacking midfield position to replace him. Stupinian with the throw, finds De Hood. I'm going to try and fire a ball right the way over to Patrick Wimmer on the right-hand side. Takes it beautifully, looks for Evan Ferguson. Evan Ferguson over to Pablo Maffeo. He turns back into Patrick Wimmer. I'm looking for an opening here. I can't find one, and in the end, it's cleared by Declan Rice. Harvey Barnes into De Hood. Much better start here. Into Ludovic Blas. Big block from the defender. Koku will take the resulting corner and fires it in, looking for the head of Ludovic Blas, but it's headed away by the West Ham defence. Patrick Wimmer back to Koku. He's going to whip it back in for a second attempt. Into Lewis Dunk, headed away again. Into Koku. Skipped away from a challenge beautifully. Into Maffeo. He finds a ball to Patrick Wimmer, and away we go. Down the right-hand side. Can he find the far post? Looks for the far post. It's not the best ball. Wimmer into Koku. Looking for De Hood. Doesn't look for him in the end, though. Finds Blas, who finds Maffeo, who's going to try and find a ball into the box. Looking for Harvey Barnes. Headed away again by the West Ham. De Hood over the top into Wimmer, who takes that really nicely, and he just skips past the challenge of the West Ham defender, looking for a ball in. There's no one directly in the penalty area, and in the end it's too easy for the goalkeeper. Ludovic Blas, nice touch and turn into Koku. I'm going to look to Patrick Wimmer again on the right hand side. This time he fires a ball in, and that is absolutely sensational. Ludovic Blas celebrates wildly, and rightly so. That was one of the best goals I think I've seen a score all season. Well, it was just the touch, the turn, Ludovic Blas out wide to Patrick Wimmer and the run in the box, and that for a ball is sensational, but he was unmarked, and he applied the finish with his head beautifully to give us a 1-0 lead here at the Amex Stadium. De Hood tries to win that head. Lewis Dunk is up high, trying to win it back for us, and he does really well. Into Maffeo again. Sustained period of pressure here for Brighton, all in the second half. Evan Ferguson over to Harvey Barnes. I'm going to look for the overlapping run of Estupinian. Estupinian to cut it back to Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes takes it on his right, and that is a tame shot in the end. Souček for West Ham. Just over 10 minutes remaining here as they desperately try and search for an equaliser. Paquetá all the way over to Tavernier, who takes it wonderfully, but Estupinian yet again is there to block and clears the ball away. Igor to Lewis Dunk. Only a few minutes remaining in this game here as we just try and hold on as Estupinian tried to fire a ball into Harvey Barnes, but it was well defended by the West Ham players. And now they have the opportunity to try and hit us on the counter-attack. Declan Rice over the top. Lovely ball out wide to the left winger who took it beautifully. Trying to get away from Pablo Maffeo, but it's De Hood, the defensive midfielder, who's there, the extra man in midfield, as the referee blows the whistle for full time. And we have 3 points. It was a tough game, but it was a big win. A fantastic performance from this man who came back into the starting 11 and showed his worth today. Full time it finishes Brighton 1, West Ham 0. Now I've got to be honest, I did feel far more comfortable with this formation. Having Ludovic Blas just pop up into really nice pockets of space allowed allow us to get the winner and did give us an extra man in midfield just when I needed it. And we even managed to keep a clean sheet without our highest rated defender. However, we have to be fair as we were up against West Ham at home in comparison to playing Arsenal at the Emirates. And with Liverpool up next away from home, this is arguably going to be the toughest game of the lot. We're sticking with the 4-3-3, but we're going with the alternative variation of it with the holding midfielder dropping Ludovic Blas back into a central midfield position. What impact that will have on today's result? Let's go and find out. Heads that one down to Koku, and Koku finds a beautiful ball back to Wimmer. Lovely stuff here, wonderfully done. Looks for a ball into Ludovic Blas. Oh, that's a big chance, headed straight at the goalkeeper. Cody Gakpo for Liverpool. Out wide to Andy Robertson. Beautiful ball over into Luis Diaz. And he's got the beating of Maffeo into Mo Salah, who strikes. Big save from Lloris. Luis Diaz for Liverpool. Cody Gakpo into Mo Salah again. And he's definitely got the pace of Lewis Dunk. And he tried the cheeky one over the head of Lloris, but he's too wise and experienced to fall for that one. Ludovic Blas nicely turned away from the defender, and Harvey Barnes now can streak away down this left-hand side. He's got the option of Evan Ferguson, who turns, who strikes, who scores. Evan Ferguson makes it 1-0 to Brighton. Will the crowd go wild? And rightly so. That was a beautiful finish. Look at the touch, look at the turn. And the finish was just exquisite. Left Alisson with absolutely no chance. And we take a 1-0 lead here at Anfield. Lewis Dunk out wide to Harvey Barnes, who takes it really nicely, finds a ball into Evan Ferguson, and again he's in the box, and again he strikes, and again he scores. Evan Ferguson celebrates in front of the Liverpool fans. They cannot believe it. Well, what is happening here at Anfield? But that is more beautiful play, and Evan Ferguson in the right place at the right time, and this time with his left foot, with a wicked strike, powered it past Alisson. 2-0. Jude Bellingham into Luis Diaz on the left-hand side. Nice ball into Cody Gakpo. Gakpo trying to find Mo Salah. Instead just shifts away from our defence. But it does find Mo Salah. And he can't find the back of the net as Lloris is there to save us yet again. Diaz will take the resulting corner though, and he's going to fire this one into the box. It's headed away by Wimmer. Only out as far as Fabinho. Lovely pass into Mo Salah. He's twisting, he's turning. We just can't seem to get the ball away. We dove into that one, but Gakpo was there first, and eventually Maffeo will hack it clear. Liverpool though starting to turn the screw here, and that is beautiful one-touch passing. Luis Diaz into Mo Salah. What a save again. Well, we are hoping and praying here that we can just keep this result at 2-0 heading into half-time. Lewis Dunk intercepts. It's away from Igor. It's hacked away from Koku. And eventually the referee will hopefully, he does blow the whistle for half-time. Diaz for Liverpool at the start of this second half. Finds Marino. He finds Cody Gakpo, who almost found Mo Salah, but Dunk was there, but he doesn't manage to get it clear as Gakpo does eventually find the back of the net. And just 4 minutes into the second half, Liverpool are right back into this game. Feu under a lot of pressure here from this high Liverpool press, and he ends up giving the ball away cheaply there. And again, more defensive errors as Liverpool now come forward. It's Diaz out wide on the left-hand side. Maffeo trying to make amends, but doesn't manage to get hold of him. Luis Diaz weaving, turning into Mo Salah. Mo Salah into Gakpo, another big save. Dunk into Dahoud, who's just shielded the ball away from the Liverpool defenders there as Koku fires a beautiful ball out wide into Patrick Wimmer. Can he find Wissam Ben Yedder, who's on as a substitute? Inches away there from getting his head on it. Stupinian into Ludovic Blas, who's picked up a wonderful pocket of space. Harvey Barnes back to Ludovic Blas. He shifts it onto his left and strikes. Big save. Koku into Dahoud. He finds Wissam Ben Yedder. Ben Yedder turns. Ben Yedder strikes. It's hit against the Liverpool defenders. Mo Salah now for Liverpool down this right-hand side. End-to-end stuff here at Anfield with just 5 minutes remaining, which is arguably not what we want at this moment in time. It's over the top into Darwin Nunez, who's just offside. Diaz to take the throw, and he finds Jude Bellingham. Bellingham with a nice little dink into the box, but Hugo Lloris made himself big, held onto the ball, and he's just going to try and boot this one clear. What a boot. All the way down the other end, deep into the Liverpool half, as the referee blows for full time. Well, that is arguably our biggest win of the entire season. Anfield is arguably one of the hardest places to come in the Premier League, but somehow we've managed to snatch 3 points. Full time it finishes Liverpool 1, Brighton 2. Well, there we have it. 3 different formations and 3 very different results. The 3-4-3 gave us a 2-1 loss away from home at Arsenal. An attack-minded 4-3-3 got us back on track with a 1-0 win at home to West Ham. But the biggest result of all, with a 4-3-3 holding midfielder, allowed us to win 2-1 away from home at Anfield. With the highest place we've ever been in the Premier League with just 5 games played, we're in 6th place with 9 points to our name, just 1 point off the Champions League spot, which somehow Nottingham Forest find themselves in. Obviously different circumstances and some very different games, but let me know down in the comments below, which formation do you want to see me go with? Do you want me to use the 3-4-3? Do you want me to use the more attack-minded 4-3-3? Or the more defence-minded holding midfielder 4-3-3 version instead? But as ever, I really do appreciate your thoughts, your comments and your feedback in the comments below. So let me know what you think about the episode, and hopefully I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching.